pregame show.
Good evening, sports fans. This is 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith. Tonight we'll see the Denver Nuggets playing against the Kings out in Sacramento. Well, for Sacramento, things have definitely been looking up for them lately during this midseason stretch. I think pieces are really falling into place for them at the team. But, Kenny, he's made the Nuggets somewhat competitive in the West.
Yeah, you know what? Both the team and the fans have shown trust in Malone. You know, he's known for his defensive schemes and not really an offensive juggernaut type team, but his team could be offensively prolific.
You know, he has a good relationship with the front office, and he's done something that hasn't been done in a long time. He's energized this franchise.
You know, that's a pretty high place there, Denver.
Yeah, altitude.
Yeah. Oof. Hard to play there?
Very hard.
That first quarter is brutal.
Very brutal.
How about if you're in shape?
It's even worse.
In shape?
Yeah.
What shape am I?
Well, you're a big guy.
You know what shape I am, Ernie?
What shape?
Shactagon. Got him, Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I'm a square.
I thought he was going to say a circle.
The Nuggets as the road team for today's Western Conference matchup. Well, the holidays always bring us some incredible NBA action. That's certainly what we have in store for us today. This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And, of course, David Aldridge is joining us tonight from the sideline. And it's been home cooking for the Kings in the midst of a homestand here in Sacramento. Try as they might, they've fallen behind the pack, but a chance here to reclaim some ground. It might be tough, but this is a team they're capable of beating.
And you know they want to win this game, not only for redemption after losing the first time they met up, but also to be in a situation where they can still win the season series.
That's exactly right. 3 times in all they'll face this team. So a win here to tie it would give them a chance. I mean, it might seem minuscule or trivial, but these are the kind of mental games teams play to psych themselves up for their next opponent.
For those teams already expected, Clark, to go deep into the playoffs around this time of year, how easy do you think it is to just go through the motions and maybe not tighten the screws as much as you should?
Yeah, you know, Kevin, I never had the experience of being a player on a playoff team, but I did broadcast a number of the outstanding Pacers teams. And it is tough in the long haul of the season for teams that are fighting for potential championships to stay engaged fully during the regular season. There is a period, and I think most really good teams will admit it, that they aren't as focused because they're excited for the playoffs to start, and they just have to work themselves through those dog days of the regular season.
Now let's take a look at the Nuggets opening lineup. Millsap and Jokic, the pair inside. The guards are Thomas and Harris, and it's Porter at the 3, the small forward. And up the court come the Kings on the break. Wasted no time on that one.
And a depth mid-range shooter as well. All Young needs is a little breathing room, and he set the fire.
Porter kicks to Thomas. On the clock. Back to Porter. Latrey. Bagley with the rebound. Bogdanovich against Porter. Bogdanovich finds Young. To the paint. Here's Hield. Porter with a block.
And, you know, as he learns the game at this level, he's going to block more shots. Porter has the length and the ability to move his feet. And you can see the break slowed down for him to kind of pick his spot. And, boy, was he open.
Outside, Bogdanovich. to Young. Pass to Marjanovic. To the paint. Bagley. Denver grabs the miss. And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Mike Malone gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. They have won their one matchup against this team so far. But he said the first order of business was for them to score against a very tough shot blocking team inside. He said in a game like this, you can't turn down perimeter looks. They could be the key to victory. He's right, Kevin.
That's great, David. Thanks. They've got their hands full against a team that plays such tough D.
And that's why you got to be flexible in terms of your game plan, particularly on the offensive end. They might have to try a few different approaches till they find one that works.
For sure. I mean, they have to be ready to adapt. The only way to break down this defense is to show them a lot of different looks.
The Kings trail by 4. About 3 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Bogdanovic against Porter. Bogdanovic passes to Marjanovic. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, the defender all over.
Greg, he got him good there. I mean, that's why the shot was so far off.
The Kings shooting their first shots from the free throw line tonight.
You've got to appreciate their ability to make free throws, 81% as a team.
And, guys, that's a pretty good improvement over last season.
That one is off. And he sinks the second. And so it's Porter bringing it up now for Denver. They are coming into this having notched a win against the Knicks in their last game.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
Yeah, you know what? The waters were calm for most of the game. I mean, little resistance, felt like they could get any look they wanted at any time.
And here is Hield after Isaiah Thomas made that last three-pointer. Young taking his time here. Just 5 on the clock. With the shot. And he wills that one in. Sinking right through off the back iron. The Nuggets leading by 4. Greg, as we know, Buddy Hield, a Wooden Award winner at Oklahoma.
I mean, he grew from nothing, his words, in the Bahamas. And his first hoop of crate he nailed to some plywood. Couldn't even afford the nails. Had to find those. So from there to here, what an incredible journey.
Now, here's Bogdanovic following the miss by Paul Millsap. Porter with the steal. 2-on-1 as they jump out on the break. Here's Thomas. And there it is for him. Thomas got 8 points.
You know, the transition game is an area where Thomas, I think, excels. I mean, he caps off so many breaks for him.
And Young kicks to Marjanovic. At the elbow, it's Hield. And it's sent back by Millsap. Outside, Porter. And Thomas has it in the corner. The pass to Harris. Shot clock at 6. Thomas finds Jokic. Right side, Porter. Over Bogdanovic. And too long on the shot.
When he's got that kind of position, he's got to score it. Got to score the ball from there.
Young pass to Bagley. Young against Thomas. Young inside. The Nuggets leading by 6. Left side, Harris. Over Hield. Bogdanovic grabs the miss.
You just make the assumption that's going down. I mean, an uncontested mid-range jumper, I think he should have buried it. But you know what? He did. It happened.
And they pick up 2.
Boy, the defense looked helpless there. I mean, he's going to lay it up every time when he's got a smaller defender on him.
Thomas against Young. Thomas passes to Jokic. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
You know, it's evident that Jokic is comfortable operating close to the rim. He's outstanding with his shot selection.
Young against Thomas. And Young kicks to Marjanovic. Over Jokic. And that one's good. Marjanovic. He has 5.
You know, next time he has that much space, he should just go straight up with it and leave the fadeaway at home. Park that fadeaway. Take the shot that's available.
Now here is Harris. A 14-point game for him in the win against New York.
And equally spent as much energy on his D. I mean, 4 steals kind of tell the story.
Offline with his 3.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
For the Nuggets, Trey Lyles checked in for Millsap. Will Barton comes in for Porter. And Murray subbed in for Gary Harris. Denver leading by 4. Jokic finds Barton. Outside Thomas. Score the basket. His 4th. He's only missed 1 of his 5 shots tonight.
And, you know, right there, very aggressive inside. Thomas keeps the defense guessing.
Healed the pass to Bogdanovic. With his first shot attempt. Doesn't go for him. And the Nuggets going the other way. Last time they met was in Denver.
And whether by design or by accident, they drew so many fouls in that game. Foul trouble for the other side became a huge issue.
And as a result, there was a blowout win. I mean, credit them for initiating contact and forcing the officials to make the calls.
Shot clock at 3. For 3, Murray sinks the triple. And now it's a 9-point Denver lead.
Great 3-point shooting here out of the gate. That makes 4 makes already from long distance.
Bring music, scorching those nets. How long can they keep this up, though?
So the Kings called timeout. They're first. In an effort to protect the players, games are called a little tighter sometimes. And that said, Clark, which guys still bring the physicality that draw the eyes and the attention of the officials?
Well, some of these guys bring attention to themselves by virtue of their reputations, but in terms of physical presence, Steven Adams, to me, is just a behemoth of a guy.
He's grit. He's just all grit, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he just oozes that with his size and the way he goes about his work. He does.
Measury misses.
Boy, he really bungled that finish.
Allen kicks to Farrell. And stolen by Barton. One-on-one here. Here's Murray. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
All right, a chance to look at some stats for Barton. This last month, he has been a real positive for this team. He's right around 13 points a night, 4 assists and 4 rebounds. And some pretty good numbers, guys. He's certainly making a contribution.
Better than expected. He still has a ways to go. But I like what I'm seeing right now.
First free throw is good.
Well, he was the 6th pick in the draft not too long ago, Jamal Murray, and started slowly, which can happen for a lot of young guys. Shooting percentages were down, turnovers up, but everybody knew he could still shoot.
J.J. Barea is checked in for the Nuggets. And so Murray nails both of them. And Clark discussing Murray, this is a guy with truly deep range.
Yeah, in the gym range, Kevin, and his shooting motion stays consistent no matter where he shoots the ball from. I think his best trait, shooting the ball, is one that every team craves.
Now here's Caldwell Pope. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Portland.
And I love the way he uses his size there to make sure he gets that board.
And that one's good. Barton.
Defensively, they've got to pick up the intensity. Hard to win surrendering this high a field goal percentage.
Yeah, you've got to turn up the dial on the intensity at the defensive end if you're them. I mean, it's still early, but I agree with you.
And once again, off the mark by Sacramento. Picked his pocket. And now Sacramento on the break. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. And we can talk all we want about their passing, but from three-point range, these point guards have been filling it up for the past month. J.J. Barea third.
You know, if there are no other options available, any of these guys can just step back and knock down a triple. Great backup plan for any point guard to have.
Well, forget about using it as a backup plan. With the numbers this group puts up from deep, I think it should be plan A to have them stroking it from 3.
The first one falls. And Yogi Ferrell, the undrafted guard out of Indiana, didn't take long, Clark, for him to prove that he belongs in the NBA.
And you know what, Kevin? Not only does Ferrell belong, but he could be a starter on a few teams. I mean, he's been a fantastic shooter from deep since joining the league, and he's got a nice mid-range game, too. So he passes the eye test for the positive impact he has on the floor and is quite unselfish and does a really good job, I think, of pushing the tempo.
Now here's Murray. 14 points from him the last game against New York.
And we got to talk about his 4 steals on the night. That's a complete performance at both ends of the floor.
And here are the Kings now. The Nuggets getting the bucket. Back to Dedmon. Knocked away. Passes it to Giles. 5 on the clock. Allen passes to Dedmon for 3. Caldwell Pope. It's hauled in by Lyle.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
A three-pointer is right on target.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
And it's the Kings with the ball after Jamal Murray was able to get that triple. Ferrell kicks to Giles. Sacramento moving it around. Here's Ferrell, guarded by Barea. Ferrell gets the bucket.
Trying to stick Ferrell is a chore. I mean, he's really good at using his quickness in the pick and roll.
There's 1:40 left in the first quarter. Here's Barea. Dedmon with the block. The Kings trail by 12. In the corner, Ferrell. And the foul on Jamal Murray. That is his first foul of the game. .121 left here in the first quarter. And that's out of bounds. Sacramento will retain possession.
A chance here, Kevin, to see where the Nuggets sit statistically in the NBA right now.
And let's go back to their place in terms of the assists. Cracking into the top 5 for me is an illustration of the cohesiveness with which they play offensively. No doubt this team's on the same page.
Here's Giles. He's usually able to provide some lift to his team, averaging 6 points a game. 4 on the clock. Ferrell can't hit.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Exactly. Can't play it any better than that, Greg.
And stolen by Dedmon.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Giles, the pass to Caldwell Pope. It's Allen on the wing. And he makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now a three-point play chance here for him.
Now, how about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
Yeah, guys, I mean, he's been a very steady hand for them when it comes to his free throw shooting.
And that one falls for Allen. And it's Barea with the ball. He'll bring it up for Denver. 9-point game. He kicks to Murray. A 3-ball. And it's Sacramento with the rebound.
They hold the early advantage on the glass.
Yeah, nothing major, not a huge advantage, but certainly a good sign for them going forward.
Now here's Allen. He had 10 points in the win against Portland. Caldwell Pope with a wide open look, and it's wide right. It's off the rim.
You know, he might want to think about deferring for a while. He's had his chances this quarter, but just not able to convert.
Miles, no good.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
Isaiah Thomas, he's feeling it tonight and has been the driving force for the Denver Nuggets. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. And we'll be right back after this. The 5'9" Isaiah Thomas has made a career out of proving his doubters wrong.
Ever since I was a little boy, they always said, you're not going to be this good in high school. Then when I got to high school and played pretty well, they said, well, you're not going to do that good in college. And when I got to college, they said, well, the NBA, those guys are too big. They're too fast, too strong. The things you do in college won't work in the NBA. And I've just kept pushing ever since. I have a goal of mine. I want to be one of the best little guys to ever play the game.
Well, no question about it, Greg. Isaiah Thomas still plays with something to prove.
Definitely what drives him. I mean, hungry to show that he's a top player regardless of size.
And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And the Nuggets, guys, what jumps out to you numbers-wise?
They've gotten that perimeter game going in that first, and for me, that was the difference.
Yep, firing with confidence, in rhythm, Greg. I mean, not allowing the defense to take a break.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. On the floor for Sacramento, we've got Farrell. Giles is out there with Dwayne Dedmon. Then there's Allen. And it's Caldwell Pope in at the 3 spot. Farrell kicks to Dedmon. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a 3-point play.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
All right, we'll take a look now at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for the Nuggets.
It looks like they're ready to run, fellas. I mean, they haven't hesitated at all to get out on the break so far.
Yeah, and one thing, Clark, I've noticed is how quick their hands have been tonight. Thanks to that, they've gotten a lot of points off of turnover.
Clark, you were in Indiana after being drafted by the Pacers for a few seasons. Who are some of the more talented guys you played with there?
Well, Herb Williams, a teammate of mine at Ohio State, really outstanding big guy, mobile, could shoot it, excellent defender, shot blocker, and a high-quality guy. Vern Fleming was a guard that had size, excellent defender, driver of the ball. Wayman Tisdale, and he rests in peace. We lost Wayman a number of years ago to cancer. Really a gifted scorer. Steve Stepanovich, he and I both had to retire about the same time due to different knee trouble. And he was a rugged, mobile, good shooting big guy who I think would have continued to excel had he not had to retire.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Hey, guys, well, some have nicknamed Senator Nikola Jokic the Joker, and he does have a lighthearted approach. He said, this is not a job. I'm enjoying the game like a game of pickup basketball in my hometown. That's the mentality. No pressure. It's just a game. He feels that staying calm can succeed. Kevin?
Thanks, D.A.
And with the playmaking in Denver's front court, point guard Jamal Murray is free to hunt his shot. Very comfortable playing off the ball.
Paul Millsap is checked in for Denver. Porter comes in for Will Barton. Whoops, anticipated the pass. Turnover. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Murray. And you look at Jamal Murray's assist numbers, he's more like a two-guard.
Well, he's kind of a combo, 6'4", 6'5"-ish, but you can't have enough shooting, and he's got a quick trigger.
Gary Harris is checked in for J.J. Barea.
Yeah, first and foremost, he's a pass-first team player, is Caldwell Pope. Love seeing that.
Murray kicks to Millsap. They get a hand on it, and it's out of bounds to the Nuggets as Denver retains possession. And now a chance to see what's coming up for the Denver Nuggets. On Saturday, they'll head home to take on the Charlotte Hornets. And then on Monday, they'll be playing against James Harden and the Houston Rockets.
And that matchup against the Heat, there aren't many other meetings that are as evenly matched as this one. Both teams can give and take punches, and this one, I think, is going to come down to the wire.
Caldwell Pope really good at staying in front of his man. He likes to make it difficult for whoever he's on.
Farrell kicks to Caldwell Pope. Over in the corner, Allen. Five to shoot. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And a moment here to look at the numbers for Jamal Murray. He's putting up 13 points a game, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. And some pretty good numbers, guys. He's certainly making a contribution.
Better than expected. He still has a ways to go, but I like what I'm seeing right now.
Free throw good, Giles. Jokic has checked in versus law measure. And he makes both free throws.
They've hit every one of their free throws here in the second quarter. Very important when you're trailing.
Murray surveying the D. Pass to Jokic. Harris kicks to Porter. Here's Millsap. That shot off, and Sacramento will go the other way with it. Fresh from a win against Portland.
And the story of that game was their terrific rhythm on the offensive end.
Yeah, I thought they were terrific at getting the ball moving. Played so well together that night. Really shared the ball and looked for each other at a high level.
The Kings have been coming through at the charity stripe. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts. The first free throw is good.
A sharp shooter with a quick trigger release, Caldwell Pope is known for being an efficient scorer.
And Caldwell Pope drops them both. We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. To the inside, and Jokic slams it in.
Surveying the floor, Gary Harris recognizes when his teammates have open looks and gets it to him.
The Kings trail by 7. Here's Farrell. 11 points for him in that last game against Portland. Caldwell Pope feeling it out a bit. Giles kicks to Farrell. From the baseline. Denver grabs the miss. They've led by as many as 14 points. To the middle. Here's Harris. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Murray's got 3 assists tonight.
Maintaining his balance all the way through. Harris, tough to stop, even on these physical finishes.
Giles, the pass to Farrell. Sacramento moving it around. Caldwell Pope for 3, and he's good on the 3 ball. Caldwell Pope's got 5 points now this quarter. The Nuggets leading by 6. Murray kicks to Harris. Murray outside. And Denver again.